They removed me from the family group chat 2 days before Christmas and didn't even bother to hide it. Just one message. Let's keep this year peaceful. Luna can sit this one out. I stared at my phone, numb, not surprised, just done. Before we go deeper, hit that like button, subscribe, and share with someone who knows what being the underdog feels like. Your support helps these stories reach those who need them. They said I bring bad vibes to their perfect little holiday dinners. But what really happened was this. I stopped funding their lies. I stopped paying their credit card bills, stopped bailing out my brother's dumb crypto startups, and I refused to co-sign a shady real estate deal my uncle was desperate to close. And guess what? That deal needed one final signature. Mine. They thought I was still that same quiet Luna who would do anything just to be accepted. The one who used to sit at the kids' table even at 27. The one who got laughed at for building websites from her room because she couldn't get a real job. Last year, I gifted everyone cash. This year, I gifted them silence. But what they didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the worthless company I was building in silence had just landed a private acquisition worth $9.4 million. And the contract they wanted me to sign, it directly conflicted with the non-compete clause in my deal. If I had signed it, I could have lost everything, so I said no, and they punished me by cutting me off. They thought I'd cry. They thought I'd beg to come back, but what they didn't know was I had a plan. One signature could have destroyed me. Instead, I used another one they didn't see coming, and it crushed their dream deal right before the new year hit. The night they all gathered for their perfect Christmas dinner, I was alone in my apartment, watching the snow fall through my window. Calm, quiet, but far from broken. What they didn't know was that while they clinked their wine glasses and shared fake laughs, their dream deal was falling apart, piece by piece. My uncle, the self-declared property genius, had been bragging for weeks about landing a major investor for a luxury development project. The investor needed just one thing, a final legal signature from a registered software consultant who'd done past systems compliance work on the land permits. That consultant was me, but instead of calling, my uncle sent my cousin to text me after kicking me out of Christmas. You just need to sign this document. It's basic, nothing big. I didn't even reply. I forwarded the clause to my lawyer. The best part? The deal they were so desperate to push through? I already knew the investor. In fact, he was the one who bought my company 2 months ago. He had no idea the people trying to sell him the land were the same ones who used to call me a waste of talent and laughed at my silent work-from-home hustle. So I told him the truth. I showed him the permit discrepancies, the fake data, the hidden tax liabilities, and then I signed, just not for them. I signed to block the deal. That one signature? It killed everything. By New Year's Eve, the investor had pulled out. The loan collapsed. The developers blacklisted my uncle. And suddenly, my family had questions. Did you know anything about this, Luna? Why didn't you warn us? I didn't answer them. I just posted one thing on my Instagram story, a picture of me in my new penthouse, with the caption, "Sometimes silence makes the loudest noise." 3 days later, my phone started blowing up. Not with apologies, but with demands. My cousin Tina messaged first. "You're seriously not going to fix this? You ruined Dad's biggest deal." Then came the call from Aunt Mel. "No. How are you? No. Merry Christmas." Just, "You're being childish, Luna. Family comes first. You owe us." Owe them? The same people who uninvited me from the one night I used to look forward to? All year? The same ones who told me my job was fake because I didn't wear a suit or leave the house for work? But what really pushed me over the edge was what my brother posted. Publicly. A video of the family laughing at dinner, with the caption, "Too bad Luna chose her laptop over her blood. They wanted war. They just didn't know I had everything. Ready." See, for years they mocked my startup. They thought I was wasting time coding in my room. What they never knew was I had quietly built an AI-compliant software that was now being used in government contracts, high-paying, secure, and extremely exclusive. And when the investor who bought my software learned my family tried to use my name without permission, he sent them a legal warning: cease and desist. Full investigation launched, but I wasn't done. I had screenshots, emails, proof of how they forged timelines on property reports, and how they used my old digital signature to bypass deadlines. So I sent it straight to the state audit office, and then I waited. By the end of the week, my uncle's assets were frozen. My cousin's car lease was revoked. And that dream life they used to flaunt online vanished. The only thing left untouched was my name, and suddenly that same family that called me a nobody was sitting in silence. Because they had just realized the quiet one they kicked out was the only one who could save them. A week passed. No calls, no messages, just silence. The kind that feels heavier than words. Then one evening, while I was sipping tea on my balcony, a black SUV pulled into my driveway. My stomach tightened. I already knew who it was. The door opened, and out stepped my mother, followed by Uncle Ray, Aunt Mel, and even Tina, the cousin who once told me I'd never make it out of that room. Their faces didn't carry anger anymore. Just desperation. Uncle Ray, the man who once said I was just a girl playing with gadgets, looked me in the eye and said, "Luna, we made a mistake. We didn't realize how important you were." I didn't move. I didn't say a word. He continued, "Look, the audit's tearing everything apart. Investors have backed out. If you pull the report, if you help us clear this..." He paused, then added the one line that changed everything. "I'll put your name on the deal. 50% ownership." I looked at him and smiled. Not because I was happy, but because that moment, right there, was the first time he treated me like I mattered. I stood up, walked to the door, and before stepping inside, I turned around and said, "Funny, you didn't need my name to cancel my Christmas. But now you want it to save your empire?" I paused, then whispered, "You'll hear from my lawyer." And I closed the door. But that wasn't the twist. The real twist? I didn't stop the audit. I bought the entire building they were trying to develop, quietly, through a shell company. At an auction they didn't even know was happening. And now, they're renting office space from me. Every month they write checks with my company's name on them. Every month they're reminded who really won. And as for Christmas, this year I'm hosting one, my own, in my new penthouse. The invitation list? Just people who believed in me when I had nothing. Because sometimes revenge isn't about destroying people. Sometimes it's just letting them watch you win. They say success is the best revenge. But for me, silence was louder. Watching them sit in their rented offices, walking past a front desk with my name on the wall, pretending not to notice the framed deed in the lobby, that was justice. Tina now works under someone who reports to someone who reports to me. Uncle Ray, once the king of the real estate table, spends his mornings begging banks for extensions. And Aunt Mel? She tried to host her usual charity gala this year, but no one came. Why? Because every sponsor they ever had now works with Luna Holdings Inc., the girl they once called emotionally unstable, a burden, not business material, is now on Forbes' Women to Watch list. But the biggest twist came last week. My mother showed up again. No family behind her this time. Just a small paper in her hand. A photo of our family from years ago taped to it. Her eyes were tired. She said, "I didn't come to ask for money. I came to ask if we could talk, like mother and daughter." For a second, I saw the version of her I used to dream about. Soft, sincere, regretful. I let her in. We talked for hours. She cried. I listened, and just when I thought just maybe we could heal something, she pulled out a second document. "It's a joint venture idea," she said, eyes gleaming again. "I thought if we used your name, we could..." I didn't let her finish. This time I didn't slam a door. I just smiled, stood up, and said calmly, "Mom, I forgive you, but I won't work with you. Some wounds can close, but they don't forget." I walked her out, politely, peacefully. Then I turned off my phone and turned on the playlist I used to cry to while working through sleepless nights, but this time I wasn't crying. I was dancing, alone, on a marble floor I paid for, in a home no one believed I could ever own, because in the end, the girl they canceled became the woman they couldn't avoid, and every time they say my name now, they say it with respect. If this story hit you in the heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.